coastal wetland restoration these days, but I am also, and have been since grad school, a horseshoe crab person, and I come to you here today as a horseshoe crab person, but I also come to you here today as someone who has been a singer for even longer. So there's me in, I think, probably nursery school. I think that was me. Obviously haven't changed a bit since those days. But I also spent some time in Woods Hole when I was in high school, participating in the Sea Education Association Science at Sea program. You can see me there standing on the bow of the Westward, which is one of their 125-foot staysail schooners, and that is where I learned a little bit about sea shanties. I would like to point out that I am not a sea shanty person. There are sea shanty people who are very intensively into sea shanties. That's not necessarily me. So if you are a sea shanty person, I'm a beginner. I do know a few. But on that boat, one of the things we did was come up with our own sea shanties. So I wrote a little tune back then, and it's been in my head since I was in high school. And recently, in the fall, I was invited to speak at the Narragansett Bay Biodiversity Symposium by our friend Courtney. And she said, "Oh, it's a real casual crowd. Heck, you could do anything. You could even sing a sea shanty." And I said, "Do not threaten me with a good time." And I changed my usual horseshoe crab presentation into two entire songs. And that's what I'm going to do. So but I'm going to have Katie Castagno come up and help me move the slides along. She's going to be my helper here because this does go by fast. All right, so I think, I don't know, it's probably since you're pointing at the thing.
Oh yeah, I'll find out the thing.
And let me get my, I do have to read it, I'm sorry. I know, I don't know if that's like not classy or whatever. And, all right, we'll give this a shot. We're ready. Here we go. Are you ready? All right, here we go. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Okay. So to start quite broad, our friends in arthropod, exoskeleton, legs with joints. But despite their name, they're not a crab, it's not the same, and we split away at this point. The Chelicerata are a group you gotta see with their tiny claws. They use this pair as a way to tear their food and put it in their jaws. Merostomata means mouth in the middle. As it walks along, it grinds, picking up some food that gets thoroughly chewed, mostly small things that it finds. Limulus, Polyphemus, Limulus. What about their kin? Limulus, cousins to spiders and scorpions. The horseshoe crab you've met is part of a quartet of species that exist. Another three in the clan: India, Japan, Southeast Asia, that's the list. And the Japanese, the crabs they believe, samurai in battle they did fall. Inspired Pokemon, Kabuto and Kabutops, you've gotta catch 'em all. Limulus, Polyphemus, Limulus. What's under that shell? Limulus, Polyphemus. Well, I'm just about to tell. They have 3 body parts and their bodies start with a prosoma in the front. The tailspin's in the back, but they don't attack you with it. It's quite blunt. Give a friend a flip, claws like scissors that can snip, and 10 armored walking legs. Layers of foot gills, that spiky mouth that fills, and a vent for sperm and eggs. To tell the sex of these critters, they reach maturity. The male gets boxer claws that are quite crucial because they hold female shells with ease. Limulus, Polyphemus, Limulus. That's our horseshoe crab. Limulus has those special claws so they can grab Florida to Maine, there's something really plain. Mid-Atlantic crabs, they grow. The largest on the shore, up to a foot or more. They're the biggest ones we know. In May and June, both at midnight and at noon, they come in shore to spawn. It is quite a sight to go to the beach at night and see them carry on. A moon that's full or new brings a tide that's higher too, which some crabs sometimes prefer. Higher on the beach, their eggs are out of reach till the next spring tide occurs. Limulus, Polyphemus, Limulus, mating on the shore. Limulus, Polyphemus, but wait, there is still more. Do the crabs get stuck on the beach? For sure, that's yucky for anyone that can smell. Sometimes what you find is a molt that's left behind, a thin and crunchy shed-off shell. When crabs of two sexes pair in amplexus, they wander two by two. Male boxer claws latch on the female and attach him to her until they're through. The eggs are bluish green, almost too small to be seen unless you're looking really close. Buried underground, they aren't often found except by shorebirds and science pros. Limulus, Polyphemus, Limulus. The female's full of eggs, Limulus. By the end of the season, all that's left is dregs. After 2 weeks, that batch of eggs will finally hatch, releasing trilobite larvae. Check out the baby pics after molts 1 through 6. In a year, they start to stray. We don't see them much, they don't write, don't keep in touch for about the next decade. They're eating in the deep, no reason for them to keep near shore where it's less safe. Limulus, Polyphemus, Limulus. Why do we even care? Limulus, Polyphemus. Hang on, I'm about to share. Oh, once in a time not long ago, people did not like horseshoe crabs, you know, accused of eating all the clams on the shores of Barnstable County. The towns, they said, to kill them all, poor horseshoe crabs, they took the fall, and people brought their tails to the town hall to get a bounty. It turns out that what they eat is worms and amphipods, what a treat, maybe a clam or 3, but really who could blame them? And now we have changed our mind, they're important for bird and humankind. We learn about their eyes by looking at what theirs can do. However, we have also found that they make the best bait around for catching whelks, and that is causing problems for them too. A shorebird called the red knot can fly so far, yes, quite a lot, from South America to the Arctic on their migration. On the way they stop to rest, they think that horseshoe crab eggs are best for bulking up and getting fat and reaching satiation. Feeding this little bird's very important, I'm sure you've heard how these two animals are strongly linked together. When you look at the horizon line, your eyes adjust so they refine the difference between dark and light edges with your vision. The horseshoe crab can do this too, an important skill for them, it's true. The clarity of borders is called lateral inhibition. Their blood is blue, that's because of copper. It clots up as an infection stopper. That's the very quality that we wanted to claim. 1/3 of the blood inside a crab is extracted in a sterile lab and used to test all kinds of drugs, and that's their claim to fame. 450 million years old, these crabs are worth their weight in gold, but even so, they are still harvested for bait. The greatest source of mortality is harvest for the whelk fishery. The crabs are gathered up and put in pieces in a bait bag. Some of them are caught by hand by people walking on the sand, while others are collected from a boat using a drag. With horseshoe crabs in coastal states, the government who regulates the number and the size of all the crabs that can be taken. Now some brand new rules have passed that spawning crabs won't be harassed, and horseshoe crabs in mass can increase their population. So now I've sung my song, I hope you learned as it went along. Now I would be quite glad to answer all your questions. And Courtney has asked me to take questions in the lobby.
She will be here.